Hello students, today again we are continuing with biology, class 12th, new syllabus, chapter number 11, part 14 of the chapter, enhancement of food production. Today is the last lecture of this chapter. Okay, so in this chapter we have started with microbes in human welfare. We were studying microbes in human welfare. Okay, from this chapter, topics that are deleted are 11.2 plant breeding, 11.3 tissue culture, 11.4 single cell protein, 11.6 animal husbandry. Topics that we have covered in our last lecture were role of microbes as biofertilizer and types of biofertilizer. Today we are going to study about the biofertilizer as microorganisms. That means we are going to study about the different types of biofertilizers, okay, that different types of microorganisms that we are using as a biofertilizer. Okay, first one is rhizobium. First microorganism that we use as a biofertilizer is rhizobium. Okay, let us study in detail about the rhizobium. Rhizobium is a rod-shaped motile, means that can move from one place to another place. Aerobic, that means it works in the presence of air. Then gram-negative, non-spore forming, means it does not form the spores. Nitrogen fixing bacteria containing NOD genes and NIF genes. Okay, that means rhizobia are rod shaped motile. It can move from one place to another place. Aerobic, it works in the presence of oxygen. Gram negative, it is having the stain as such as gram negative. Non-spore forming, that means it does not form spores. Nitrogen fixing bacteria, it contains NOD genes and NIF genes. They form symbiotic association with roots of leguminous plants. That means they are forming the symbiotic association. Symbiotic association means two organisms, when they depend on each other and both are benefited from each other, such type of association is called as symbiotic association. Okay, so this rhizobia are present in symbiotic association with the roots of leguminous plants. They bring about nodule formation on the roots and multiply inside the nodule. They are forming nodules. Okay, you can see here these nodules, these structures are called as nodules. These are called as nodules. They are forming nodules okay, on the roots and multiply inside this nodules. Okay, multiply inside this nodules. You can see here rhizobium is a symbiont. Symbiont means it is present in association with the roots. These are the roots, okay, of leguminous plants. Rhizobium bacteria have ability to take atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into soluble forms. This bacteria live in the roots of leguminous plant. They are living in the roots of this leguminous plants. They multiply inside the roots of this leguminous plants. Okay. Then example, Rhizobium leguminosarum is specific to pea and Rhizobium fascioli is specific to beans. There are two rhizobiums. Both the rhizobium are specific to particular plant. They cannot depend on each other. They are specific to particular plant only. Rhizobium leguminosarum is specific to pea only. It cannot be present in association with beans. And Rhizobium fascioli is specific to beans only. It cannot be associated with pea plant. That means a particular bacteria is associated with particular plant only. They are very much specific with their association. Okay. Next is Azotobacter. Okay. It is also called as Azobacter or Azotobacter. Azotobacter is important and well-known free-living, nitrogen-fixing, aerobic, non-photosynthetic non-nodule forming bacterium. Okay, that means what? They are free living, that means they are not present in association with anyone. Nitrogen fixing, they also fix atmospheric nitrogen. Aerobic means they work in the presence of air. Non-photosynthetic means they are not depending upon the photosynthesis process. Light. Non-nodule forming, that means they does not form any nodules, as the rhizobium was forming nodules. Azotobacter does not form any nodules. Intimately associated with roots of grasses and certain plants. They are associated with the roots of grass and other certain plants. It is used as a biofertilizer for all non-leguminous plants, especially rice, cotton, vegetables, etc. First one, the rhizobia that we have studied, was associated with the leguminous plant. But this is the second one, that is Azotobacter. It is associated with non-leguminous plant. It is associated with all the non-leguminous plants. Okay. Examples are rice, cotton, vegetables, etc. Third one is Azospirillum. Okay, Azospirillum. Azospirillum is a free living. Again, it is free in nature. It is not present in association with anyone. Aerobic, that means it is present in working in the presence of oxygen. Nitrogen fixing bacterium. It also fixes atmospheric nitrogen. It is associated with the roots of corn, wheat and jowar. They are present in the association of roots of corn, wheat and jowar. It fixes the considerable quantity of nitrogen. That means it is also fixing nitrogen. It is also nitrogen fixing bacteria from the atmosphere. But only fixes, it is fixing the considerable amount of nitrogen. That means it fixes 20 to 40 kg nitrogen per hectare in non-leguminous plants such as cereals, millets, cotton, oilseeds, etc. So, it is also fixing the nitrogen. Majority of the function of all the bacteria, all the microorganisms that are used as biofertilizers is they fixes atmospheric nitrogen. So Azospirillum is associated with, it is also associated with non-leguminous plants such as cereals, millets, cotton, oilseeds, etc. Okay. Next one is Anabaena cells. Anabaena. Okay. So here Anabaena is a genus of multicellular filamentous cyanobacteria. You can see here it is multicellular. Many cells are there. You can see here many cells are there. So it is multicellular. Filamentous means thread-like. You can see many cells are there. They are arranged in the form of a single thread. Okay. Multicellular filamentous cyanobacteria that exits as plankton. It has ability to fix nitrogen and also forms symbiotic relationship. They are not free living. Okay. They are also doing the work of fixing nitrogen and they are present in symbiotic relationship with certain plants such as coralloid roots of Cycas and Anthoceros. Okay. They are present in association with roots of Cycas. Okay, they are present in association with some plant. That means they are present in symbiotic association. They are not free living. Okay. It has some specialized and colorless cells that are called as heterocysts, which are the sites for nitrogen fixation. Okay. So, you can see here some specialized cells are there. See here, all these cells are darker in color, but there is one small cell you can see here. This is different in color. It is colorless actually. Okay, it is colorless and it is known as heterocyst. And this heterocyst forms the site for nitrogen fixation. So this can be your objective question in your exams, that Anabaena has some colorless cells called as dash. Okay. So it is called as heterocyst. And what is the function of heterocyst? The function of heterocyst is to form is nitrogen fixation. Okay, the function of heterocyst is nitrogen fixation. Okay. Next is azolla. Next and the last microorganism that is used as a biofertilizer is azolla. Okay, when I say azolla, azolla is free floating water fern. What is azolla? Free floating water fern. Okay, that means it is a water plant. Okay, it is a water plant. Okay, water fern. It fixes atmospheric nitrogen in association with the nitrogen fixing blue-green algae known as Anabaena azolla. It is present in association with Anabaena. Okay, azolla fronds consist of sporophyte with a floating rhizome and small overlapping bilobed leaves. They are having bilobed leaves and their rhizome roots are floating in the water. It is known to contribute 40 to 60 kg nitrogen per hectare per rice crop. It is associated with the rice crop. Okay, azolla is associated with the paddy field. In exam, this question is also asked that azolla is associated with which field, which crop. So it is associated with paddy field, yeah, rice crop. You can say paddy is the another name of rice. So in exam, paddy can be also there asked, or rice will be there directly. So you need to remember that azolla is associated with the paddy field or rice crop. It is mainly functional. It helps in growth of paddy field. Various species of azolla are azolla pinnata, azolla caroliniana, azolla filicularis, azolla microphylla, azolla mexicana. Now, in our country, many biofertilizers are available in market to reduce the use of chemical fertilizers and thus the pollution. So all these biofertilizers are there, all these microorganisms are there which we can use as a biofertilizer. So because since many of such biofertilizers are available, why we should use chemical fertilizer? So it has reduced the use of chemical fertilizers, and since we have reduced the use of chemical fertilizers, automatically it has resulted in less pollution. There is less amount of pollution. Since we don't use chemical fertilizers, there is less pollution. We use more chemical fertilizers, there will be more pollution. But since all such fertilizers, biofertilizers are available, so there is no need actually to use the chemical fertilizers. Okay, so that's all with this chapter. Here we have completed this chapter, that is enhancement of food production. So next time we will start with a new chapter. Okay, in our next lecture we will continue with a new chapter. We will start with a new chapter. Thank you, students. Take care.